Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race recap show for Season 8, Episode 10, titled Grand Finale. My name is Joe Batance, and I am bewitched, bothered, and bewildered by two very bitchy co-hosts. From the podcast pod is my co-pilot. Please pass a kidney stone to Michelle Williams.
I'm so glad we've had this time together. I'm doing my best Robbie Turner.
Oh, really? Oh,
I don't know.
That explains why your wig keeps falling off.
It's not a wig.
Why he's roller skating right now.
How are you, Joe?
I'm doing very, very well, Taylor. How are you? This is our last time together.
I'm a little sad about this. Mm-hmm. So it's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to future seasons. But I'm ready to take a break with the summer coming and all.
Well, I didn't know if Daniel and I wanted to do this on air, but
am I being sugared?
You're being sugared.
Oh.
We're bringing on Jamar84.
Oh.
And from the podcast, Jamar84 just got a hard on right now. And from the podcast, Dubious Intent, give a curse first to Daniel J. Brewer.
Yay, that's me. Hi, Joe Batance. Hi, Taylor.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. I don't know whose voice that was talking before I was introduced, but I like the sound of their voice. I got nothing. Anyway, hi.
Wait, so he somehow managed to...
Speaking of hi, yeah, Daniel, you're right. Hi. You just said, what's wrong with you?
No,
what do you mean right now?
You hadn't introduced me yet, but I had made a joke during Taylor's introduction. Yeah. Oh, my God.
So did you break your own rule on that one?
Yeah, I'm just trying. My future ex-husband, Tyler, he'll understand. He's on the same wavelength. He'll get it.
I haven't seen this Tyler yet. I need to do some research on our Twitter page.
Yes, you should. Anyway, hi everyone, we're here, and
the big finale, guys. The big finale.
Finale.
Yeah, the finale of our show until the fall.
Do we know if it's fall? I mean, it seems like everything that we've seen online right now is just coming soon.
On Reddit, someone said that one of the trailers says this fall.
Every trailer I've seen says coming soon.
I haven't seen them all. I'm just seeing what I see on Reddit.
What I'm saying, Joe, is I'm not saying I'm right, so I don't later have to say that I was wrong.
I saw a rumor on Reddit that seemed really interesting. Did you see this about there's like basically one spot open, and it's all the queens who were eliminated first competing for that one spot?
No.
But this has already been filmed. This was filmed back in...
No. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. When they filmed it, there's like one that there's something, I don't know if it's one spot, but that the first out queens are competing for a spot on the All-Stars cast.
If I was Naisha Lopez, I'd be pissed because they already brought her back.
Well, I think I think season 8 is excluded from All-Stars.
Is it 4 to 7 then, or is it all the season?
I don't imagine it's probably 4 to 7, don't you think?
Everything right now is speculation. Yeah, we don't know.
Well, also season 4 was included in All Stars.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you think about like Survivor.
Michelle Williams. Do you ever think about that?
You think about Survivor, you have like the fan favorites versus the heroes versus villains, where they bring back returning players, and often on more than one occasion they brought people back from the season that aired right before it, which was filmed before that season aired. So they were just going off what they saw in the editing bay of like, this is going to be a popular character. Have made that decision by that. So I would not be surprised if Thor G. Thor or Acid Betty showed up in All 2.
Well, I mean, think about it. Chad Michaels won the last All Stars. So and she was in the previous season. So it makes sense that they would do 5 through 8 for this one.
So we will see.
I guess we'll find out.
Maybe we'll find out.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. This week, RuPaul finally releases the 3 of us from the podcasting phantom zone. The queens each take a turn lip-syncing for their lives. Cynthia Lee Fontaine shakes her trophy as Miss Cuckoo Congeniality. The editor somehow managed to make fake Michelle Visage fake laughs. Violet Chachki returns just to slay us, just as RuPaul announces Bob the Drag Queen as the winner of Season 8. Ladies, any initial thoughts on the episode?
Go ahead, Taylor.
It was okay. I sort of knew who won ahead of time for reasons we won't get into.
Does it rhyme with Raniel Ruhr?
I believe it does.
Here's the thing. I posted for those of you who don't know, which would be everyone, we have a group where we chat with other friends, and at least one of the other friends in that group is on the East Coast like me and had seen the finale already like me. He'd seen it on TV and in private texting back and forth. And so I decided it was late enough. I misjudged the time to the West Coast. I thought it had just finished going on the West Coast or just finished airing on the West Coast, but I actually did it more early. So what I did was I posted a picture of Bob, the drag queen, getting crowned at the coronation. Immediately after, when I realized I did the math wrong, I didn't even think about you, Taylor. I didn't even think about the fact that you downloaded the next day. Like, you don't have it. So that, I apologize.
That's okay. It's fine. So, but I thought most of the queens looked really great. I don't think there was really anybody as far as the season 8 group that it was very like, oh God, what the hell are they wearing? I thought everybody looked good. I have a comment though about a previous winner.
Yes.
And this is appropriate because she was in the beginning and the end. Does Tyra Sanchez realize that she actually won? Because she always looks like it's a big joke and she's waiting for somebody to say, we were just kidding, it's not really you.
Oh, really? I always think she looks like she is contractually obligated to be there, and she's going to be there because she's contractually obligated to be there.
Well, and she's one that you never hear anything about other than when they like bring her out for these. And she always kind of has this where her wigs never look right. Like, I don't know if it's that she stopped doing drag afterwards and then forgot how to do it, but you know, that last look when she came in on the green, while the green outfit was great, she was very much category is Felicia Rashad realness with that hair, that Cosby Show lawyer hair. It was horrible.
That's what throws me is when I've been watching on the Logo channels, on the Logo YouTube channels, the World of Wonder, when they show the behind the scenes stuff. Alaska today in her Ask You a Question series was interviewing all of not all, but most of the past winners, and they were all backstage getting their makeup done, and they all had makeup people there. So it's like, it was odd that she would have bad makeup and hair when it looked like they had people back there assigned winners to do it for them.
Yeah, it was really disappointing just because season 2 was my first season, and I just really didn't necessarily think it was something that I liked.
Yeah, I think you guys hit on a good point, which is when I finally, I figured I'll just watch the episode later because I was there. I was actually out Monday night. I was actually at a bar where they were going to show, a friend of mine was doing stand-up comedy at Mickey's, a famous gay bar in West Hollywood. And then they were going to show the episode immediately afterwards. And then Raven and Raja and all of those queens were going to do a drag show. And the friend I was with was like, do you want to stay around for the finale? And I was like, I was there, right? I don't need to watch this finale. So we left, got dinner, whatever.
Oh, so you missed all the Raven drama. Oh,
well, I read about it. I know. But did you see one of the Reddit comments said purse first, Raven second? Anyway, then I watched this finale in the privacy of my own home. Let me tell you guys this. Apart from the 6 or 7 hours it takes to film this fucking thing and all the pausing and everything like that, it was so good live. It was so good. And how they chopped this episode up and ruin what was really, really good is unforgivable. Unforgivable, I say.
It was really poorly edited. There were clearly times the jokes that weren't that funny. You had these like chubby queens in the audience going, like that, like, okay, it wasn't that funny.
Well, let me tell you this, a little bit of a secret here is before, while they're doing before they do the pre-show, someone comes out like a production guy and he coaches the audience, and then they do shots of people just fake laughing and fake clapping, and they do a bunch of those shots. They go, okay, we're going to film this side right now. Just laugh as if the funniest thing you ever heard in your entire life. And so, and fake clap, and then go do a fake, they have you do a bunch of emotional reaction shots. But the way they chopped this show up, and as you know, I took very copious notes.
Yes.
Yeah, using my voice memo on my phone. And I'm
sure you meant as similar to using a voice. Your memory is so good. It's
that's
similar.
a voice memo. I meant the note thing. Yeah,
it's similar to. Your memory is so good that it's similar to a voice recording of the actual event.
Exactly. So here's the thing: is I told you guys, I told my cousin, oh my god, the opening of the show is so fucking fierce, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my cousin talked to me before I watched, and he said like it was okay, right? And then I watched them all. They totally fucked this up. Live, it was phenomenal because you know what? They let it breathe. The place is going crazy and all the queens are just standing there being fierce and you're just hearing the roar of the audience. And the moment gets to breathe when you're there live. And on the television, it was just chopped up. Thank you.
And you understand why. I mean, because it's TV.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
they're pressed for time. Yeah,
it's 2016. You can't have something on screen for longer than 6 seconds without people going, it's moving too slow.
Well, what's funny is, why do they even plan this stuff? Because the part where that a cappella group came in for like half a second? That was an entire 3-minute segment where they went around the theater singing and there were dancers. And it was a whole thing where I was like, where are they putting this? And then they like, oh, here's some singers. All right, back from commercial. You're like,
Right.
what?
Yeah.
Well, they had to make sure to get those two tweaked out twinks in their tank tops in the audience 15 times.
You know what? I've
They did their
seen
shots.
this. I've seen this a lot, and I want to just point out Joe's previous statement to you. Now, does that shot make sense to you? If what Joe says is true, they film a lot of random reaction shots. Put people. It could just be that that was the only decent, really laugh out loud reaction shot they had. It's like stock footage, right? It's like because during the regular show, they're not going to be pointing the cameras back at the audience necessarily. So it's like to find somebody that's really laughing, they're just going to keep going to the same.
Well, but it wasn't necessarily they were laughing. It was they were clapping. Occasionally they were laughing. It wasn't like one shot they kept using over and over again. And you had all of these. The one thing that I noticed in the audience from watching from home was there was tons of people all done up in all sorts of drag. And there were some really amazing looks. But you kept going back to the two cute young skinny boys in tank tops. It was annoying to me. I'd rather see celebrities. I'd rather see previous winners. I'd rather see just people that are doing really fierce drag, and you just get somebody's boyfriend who they got, a front row center seat, so they just kept showing them.
See, I saw what people were saying when they were posting screenshots today, but watching it twice, so the two times that I watched it, once.
Wait, I've been away all day. Did this come up on in social media today about the same twinks coming up?
Yeah, if you go over to the Reddit, they have there's two different groups. There's one group that thinks that this one bear guy keeps showing up too much, and then there's another group complaining that there's these two twinks showing up. So I find it odd that it's like it's like
the bear's complaining about the twinks.
Exactly right. It's like,
it's okay. You can call me a bear. It's totally fine.
But it's like, but I didn't really notice it. But then I saw like that. It was one of the former queens that had that pillow, like the built-in sleeping pillow.
Stacey Lane Matthews.
Oh, it's like I saw her a couple times. I kept clocking Trixie Mattel and in a lot of the different crowd shots because she was, she's just hard to miss. She's an 8 foot tall drag queen. And it's really hard to miss her.
I don't get why there was 4 billion shots of Rumor Willis.
Well, she was the only celebrity there.
She was the only celebrity.
Is that the height of celebrity that they got was Rumor fucking Willis?
Yes.
Okay. Other than Joe Batance, clearly.
Well, keep in mind, I don't think they invite celebrities. So that's the biggest celebrity they got that was willing to fork out the cash for it. It's like, you know what I'm saying? They don't.
Oh, you think Rumor Willis paid for a ticket?
She may not have, but somebody she was with may have. It's like, I don't know that they comped her a ticket.
Oh, I think Rumor Willis is people call logo and they're like, okay.
Because who was it that showed up last year that just showed up like on her own because she's
Miley
a big fan?
Cyrus.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus, and she paid. She didn't.
Miley Cyrus seems like someone who would pay for her own ticket.
Right, exactly. Anyway,
Rumor Willis, yeah.
I understand what you're saying, Taylor, but I disagree. I think like I saw Milk more. I saw reaction shots of Milk more in Alaska doing that. Cindy Naisha Lopez clap. I saw more of that.
It also happened, just to veer off a little bit, when I watched it, I got super angry again, like I did last year, where they level out the audience applause during the beginning. And so, like, I can tell you, I actually took notes, and I even made notes there who got the most applause.
Yeah, because I know from the coronation event who got the Left It Jives. But go ahead.
So, were all the queens at the coronation too?
No, I mean, keep in mind, as the show is going on, there's 800 people screaming at the top of their lungs. So when they say, Naomi Smalls, the room, you've lost your sense of hearing.
So when the queens came out, Cynthia Lee Fontaine got a huge reaction. Acid Betty got a huge reaction.
Yes.
Thorgy Thor got a huge reaction. Chi Chi DeVane got a huge reaction, and Bob and Kimchi got the loudest applause, and Bob got a huge reaction as well.
See, that jives perfectly with what happened at the club as they were airing it. And I was kind of writing off Acid Betty and Thorgy Thor, and Bob is just, they're New York queens, right? This is a New York crowd.
No, it happened in LA too.
But yeah, it was. That's huge. Interesting to know that jive.
And they make it like Chi-Chi's was almost deafening.
Chi-Chi's was deafening at our place. It's like people were screaming, and we were wedged in there so close you couldn't lift your hands up to cover your ears. Yeah. So it's just like you were just deaf.
And then they make it seem like it's just like she got the same applause as like Derek Barry.
Now Derek Barry did get booed in New York. I just
he did. He didn't get booed in LA. So I hate that they do that. So how are we going to go through this like section by section?
No,
so there was. What did you guys think of the opening sketch?
Boy, let me just give my initial reaction for that. Okay. I agree with how badly edited it was. To me, it seemed, because not knowing what the full content was, but it seemed to me that most of those questions that they were asking the queens, the top 3 plus the remaining queens, when they asked them questions, seemed like really stupid questions for someone whose show it is to ask those questions. Does that make any sense? Like, if you were a reporter for the New York Times, then I would see asking those questions if you'd never seen the show before. But I felt like so many of the questions that they asked the queens were things that we had seen in Untucked, or we'd seen in the show itself. I was like, why are you wasting time in the finale going over what was basically a storyline on another one of your shows? It's like, we already know. Ask a question that we don't know the answer. Talk to Cynthia Lee Fontaine about her damn cancer. It's like, well, how did that happen? He's like, oh my God, are you okay? It's just kind of like, I'm a stage 1 liver cancer survivor. Oh, so is your ass real? It's just like,
I was reviewing my notes today.
I see what you did.
And when I was reviewing my notes for Bob's interview is so much better than what they showed. So, I mean, there's good questions in there. And like some of them you're like, oh, I want to know about that. And for instance, there's a question for Bob from Tatiana, I believe it is, who the question is, who did you hate on the show? And Bob has a really funny answer about how, everyone's there. No one's better than anybody else. Something like, being very diplomatic. And then at the end she goes, but the answer is Thorgy. And so, but like there were really good questions. And like I said, just like I said about the beginning, if you were there and heard the whole interview, there's room for, it sounds like a real conversation and there's room to breathe. Right. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely does. I wish they would have just gotten rid of the lip sync numbers and just devoted more interviews from all of the queens.
Yeah. The lip sync numbers were just felt like filler.
They were all so forgettable. Yeah, they were so throwaway bad club drag. It's like I don't know why they didn't all. It seemed like none of them knew their words. They all like messed up on the lip syncs at a different point in time. And I'm like, this was you knew who the top 3 was a year ago. It was like you're telling me they didn't write these songs for you guys until like last week, which could actually seems like you would have gotten more lead.
Well, and Babalu keeps mentioning the fact that he liked Kim Chi's song, but he's like, I don't understand why she didn't move. And I said, she can't dance. And he's like, yeah, but you figure she's had enough time to learn how to dance in the last couple of months. If anything, that would shock everybody. Instead, she just sort of flailed around at the very end, to which they even cut away from that. The one time she started to dance, they went into the audience. And I'm like, it just seemed like really bad editing choices. And I had
terrible editing.
It just seemed like they just kind of took the best parts. And didn't. And left them to the side and just kind of put together this weird narrative that wasn't even where it just seemed like sound was off and like the end of sentences was cut and all that kind of stuff. It was just weird.
During, there were a lot of things I couldn't talk about because I didn't want to give anything away. But, as we know, Bob gave Rue a purse.
We saw it on TV.
At the end of her interview. Yeah. I can't believe, I guess it wouldn't make sense on the show. So after every interview, they cleared the stage to get ready for the next number. So after Bob's interview, cameras are off and Rue has to clear the stage and leave. And she walked off the stage purse first. And it was so fucking amazing. The house went crazy. And it was so rad. It's too bad that wasn't on camera because when are you going to see RuPaul walk anywhere purse first? And she did it so well. It was awesome. So I wanted to let that.
You had posited the question earlier, so let's just go ahead and deal with this. Like, how should this? This is how I think we should handle it. Taylor wants to talk about the looks of the season 8 queens. I am really keen to hear about the things like you just told us, things that you saw at the taping that you're doing. And I don't know specifically if there's something that you want to hear, but I would. I think if we just proceed in that manner, so let's talk about the looks, and then we'll talk about your stuff, and then I can throw in some stuff about the coronation. Sound good, Taylor?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'm trying to get pictures of the looks up, so I'm trying to find, and unfortunately, I'm not seeing any.
Taylor's really prepared.
I didn't get notes, so I didn't know what we were doing.
Where are you looking?
I think Google Images. I just typed in Drag Race Season 8 finale looks. You guys just talk about what you think. I'll do it off memory.
Okay.
It's okay.
So, well, is there anyone that stood out?
I loved Cynthia Lee Fontaine's hair. That was a lot of fun. The weird Chinese Michael's styrofoam balls thing. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, almost like a character out of a Dr. Seuss of sculpt.
Yeah, Thorgy was that was quite the look. The hair was, what was that made out of?
I believe it was made out of the same material that a pool noodle, like foam tube insulation tubes and spray paint.
Yeah. Acid Betty was okay. It seemed very similar to the weird yellow gill thing. I would have liked to have seen something slightly different.
They didn't. The disservice to Acid Betty's look was you couldn't tell very well on TV that she was a lobster.
Is that what she was trying to be?
With the exo torso. It's like there was a lot of detail in that dress that when you see the photos of it, it becomes apparent. It's like, oh, that's a lobster kind of creature. And it's got a lot of detail. It's like it just looks a lot better in real life than it did. Kind of like Michelle Visage. She looked so harsh on TV. Like, she bad. Yet if really you go to the Logo YouTube channel and look up, like the season 8 Remembering with Michelle Visage or whatever, it's filmed the same day because she's got the same hairstyle and same makeup, but the lighting's different and she doesn't look like, some 600-year-old woman from Doctor Who that like pinned back.
Yeah, she looked really old and looked like she had a bad facelift.
Yes, exactly. Who else stood out to you? There's Robbie Turner, who was completely forgettable, so if you don't remember her, it's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Derek Barry was basically...
Derek Barry looked plastic to me. Derek Barry was actually kind of scary looking.
I was going to say, Debbie, he basically did, like, to me, a young Dolly Parton. Very,
It looked like Britney Spears in her late 40s, early 50s, after having lots of plastic surgery and Botox. That's kind of what it looked like to me.
Right. All right. So now, before we get to the top 3, actually to the top 4, let's see who happened you talk. You didn't talk about Naisha Lopez.
Or Dax exclamation point. He did a comic book thing, Dax. Right? Didn't he do Storm?
Kind of Storm, but kind of forgettable. Yeah. Like as much as I liked Dax in the beginning, when she was the first one to come out, I was like, oh yeah, she was on this season.
And then Layla McQueen came out like a purple spider was.
Layla McQueen is, because Bob the Drag Queen, of course, had to have his first single come out, and I watched the video. I didn't realize that was Layla McQueen. I'm like, who is that? That looks familiar, but I don't remember who. And Derek Barry looks weird looking in the video too. I didn't realize that was Derek Barry. But so yeah, right. They weren't very good.
All right, and then Chi-Chi, yeah. All right, so that's the next one. Chi-Chi.
I loved Chi-Chi. I loved Chi-Chi. I loved the big blonde hair. My one, I guess, critique on that would be, and it's not necessarily the dress, but the arms were just a little too defined.
Yeah. So to me, though, her makeup was so weird. It was like that just didn't look like it looked like Trixie Mattel came in and did her makeup for me. It's just I don't think I've seen her wear that type of makeup all season. It was just kind of shocking. And then we had Princess Leia. Excuse me, rubber fetish Princess Leia.
Who was that?
Naomi. She came. Her hair swooped behind her, but looking at her dead on, it looked very Princess Leia with the hair buns. Yeah, wearing like a rubber fetish dress.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite look of hers.
Kim Chi was in a powder. Bob the Drag Queen was in a designer gown. I don't remember. It was called out somewhere as to who. It was a custom made gown but
I don't remember what it looks like.
It's a white.
Honestly.
It's a white gown with a kind of a cape, but then it has really bright multicolor stitching down the side.
Oh, okay. So it looked like kind of like a 70s coloring book.
Yes,
or it looked like a 70s like textbook or something would be where they. Okay, yeah. It was all right. It wasn't necessarily obviously my favorite look of the looks, but it was okay.
There you go. That was all. That was it. That was exciting.
What about the returning queens?
Oh, do we have to? We don't. Taylor doesn't have pictures, and I don't know.
Everyone's talking about this Violet Chachki's dress.
Well, that's different. That's the coming out at the end with her thing. What did you think of Violet Chachki's dress?
I liked it a lot. I didn't want to build it up last week. Remember, I built up Bianca. And everyone was like, but it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Excited. I can't imagine what it looked like in real life.
There are some very, very high def pictures of backstage of that because there's airbrush, her veins to make it look like she has like vein, and there were ants that were crawling on her. And the crown is really hard to sell on TV, but the crown was made out of her hair. It's like it was the crown was coming out of her head. So
we could with the HD and for the iTunes purchase that I got, it was really crazy. And I want to say that I appreciated that one, just the detail and the craftsmanship of it, but that's very not her compared to where she was always very much the Betty Page, the pinup girl sort of thing. It was very different from her, so that was really cool to see. So I'm assuming how long from when she first came out with the opening till the end, how long was that? Was that like because I would think just the prosthetics for the head alone had to have taken hours. About 4 hours. Okay. Yeah, that's right. And did she come out forever? Did she come out multiple times when they announced the 3 winners? No. So the way they do that is they film everything up until she says and the winner is Well, no, she goes the winner of RuPaul's Drag. She starts there. She starts with the time has come to name the winner. Yeah.
Yeah. So everything up to there is filmed in real time, and then they'll reset and they'll like.
But I think what Taylor was asking is, we know that Violet.
Sorry.
We
Go
know
ahead.
at the beginning of the show that Violet is not in that outfit. Violet is in a different outfit at the beginning of the show, and then when they had the winners, no, I guess that was her walk. I was going to say they had all the 8 winners walk again, but that Violet Chachki was the very last one, and that's that. So she got into that full dress from the time, at least the first part of it.
She had 4 hours. She had 4 hours.
So
okay,
yeah,
okay. Well, we were impressed here.
Yeah, it was a very it was very odd. Now she was there at New York for the Coronation League gag were there too, but we can talk about that later. Anyway, right. So any of the former winners that looks you just like were crazy about?
No, I mean I can't think. I love the fact that Raja came out as Madonna.
Yes.
So that in a kimono, she started in the kimono and then pulled that off and had the Blonde Ambition outfit. So I love that. And honestly, I loved because I love iridescent and I love bright colored things. I loved RuPaul's dress, the dress that she wore through the majority, that fringe kind of car wash looking thing that she had on. I really enjoyed looking at her in that.
There you go. Yeah, I mean we're not fashion. we're not very good at this. Sorry, making notes of what people wore in the fashion.
I never noticed it, and people see one like, oh, look at that hem, and look at this, like, you know, one of my cousins is a fashion designer, and I've watched the show with her. And she'll notice it, boom, 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 right when they walk. I'm like, whoa, I'm watching the same thing. But they have an eye for it.
Yeah, and I don't. And it's just like one of those, I remember, you know, the ones that are like way over the top, like Violet Chachki. All of which is a way for me to say, I didn't care for Rue's dress. I thought it kind of looked really bad on TV. It just kind of looked like a piece of a car wash. Now, it didn't look so bad the second time I watched it, but the first time I watched it at the club where we were at, they had a Jumbotron and the dimensions were wrong on it. So they were kind of squished. You know what I'm saying? The people were squished and they looked fatter and blurrier than they should have. So it's like her dress in fat, blurry vision was RuPaul.
That's how I film my life, unfortunately, in fat, blurry vision.
Anyway, so there you go, Joe Batance. Those were the looks. But here's the question for me, Joe Batance. What did we miss?
Yes.
What did we miss? What was left? Because we even got a Facebook message from somebody that said that they were there too. And that they,
I know. I saw that.
Yeah.
He was like, Joe, you got it wrong. Rue said this. And I'm like, okay. Okay, so, you know, I took copious notes, but I haven't reviewed all those notes. But there are a lot of questions. I will say, you know, they cut out a lot of questions. So Bob's questions, he had questions from Tatiana, Yara Sofia, and Shangela. And Yara Sofia's question, it was from a man in Mexico who wanted to know if Bob would marry him. Then Tatiana wanted to know who she didn't like. And then Shangela, you saw Shangela's question. Yeah. Rue had a good question on there, which was fuck, marry, kill Lucian, Derek, or Thorgy.
Oh.
Can I guess?
And the answers were, you want to guess?
I'm going to guess it was fuck Derek, marry Lucian, kill Thorgy.
Taylor?
I would say fuck Lucian, kill Derek, marry Thorgy.
Daniel has it spot on.
Wow.
Yep. It was kill Thorgy, fuck Derek, he had a nice ass,
right. And Lucian's got the money.
Lucian.
So you marry.
No, that's true.
Yeah, okay. So then for Kim Chi, her questions were from Manila Luzon and just the pit crew. She just had 2. Now the pit crew, that one was really edited really weird too. So when she said that she would get a disease, the house went crazy. But then she actually named somebody that she would sleep with. Somebody named Miles, but not Miles Davis Moody. Yeah. And I guess it's somebody from, the people speculated from like the Gay for Pay dance crew.
Could be. I noticed, because I noticed stupid things like this, that she says, I don't want to catch anything, so none of them but. And then that's when the people went crazy. And then the but was never followed up on. And I noticed that. It was like, oh, they must have cut something out.
In real life it was, yeah. And then Naomi Smalls had questions from Gia Gunn, Milk, and Jade Jolie. But I don't think they showed any of her questions, right?
Jade Jolie? Oh my God. That's season 1, isn't it?
No, Jade Jolie is like season 4.
No, somebody asked
season
her
5.
Question. Who were the 3 that asked her a question?
Gia Gunn, Milk.
It was Gia, because I remember Rue saying Gia. Identifying her. So Gia Gunn's question was aired.
They didn't show questions for all the queens, right?
No.
But those were from Detox, Alyssa Edwards, and Trixie Mattel, who got a standing ovation for, which I showed you guys my notes last week.
Right. And that clip is on the internet. We can go.
Right.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Yes, it's on Logo, and the Detox one. I watched that one right before Into.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
perfect. They started putting up a lot of the, like I've seen the House of Edwards pre-show dance, or as I like to call it, the unfortunate wardrobe selection of Jiggly Caliente. And they showed the Trixie and Katya doing their opening thing. Nothing that happened though explained to me why Katya was barefoot with dirty feet. What the fuck was that?
No, they never explained it. Never explained it at all.
It looked like she had put fake dirt on her feet, like to make her feet look dirt. You know what I'm saying? It looked like she had like makeup smeared on her feet to like make them look even. It was so weird to me, that whole section.
That whole outfit was weird.
I also took notes, because they filmed 3 different conclusions. Yep. And during each conclusion, Rue says, "I bow to you, my queen. Do you have anything to say?" Or something.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And Bob.
So we know what Bob said, right? Yeah. Kim Chi said, "Where's dinner?" Or "When's dinner?" Right? And Naomi Smalls said, "It's about damn time a big girl won."
Speaking of which, was Ginger Minge even there?
I didn't see her.
I mean, so you didn't see her at the live, because I noticed that today. I was just like, wait a second. Ginger Minge was nowhere to be seen. Not in any crowd shot?
No, in fact, no. In fact, I happened to know, because I saw on Reddit that the day that they filmed that, she and Fifi O'Hara were posting pictures from Disney World, I think.
Oh.
So they were in Taylor's neck of the woods.
With Roxy Andrews.
Yeah, my basement flooded.
So
those are all, apart from going through my copious notes, that's all I have.
I mean, it is what it is, right? In all fairness, I know that.
Yes.
I watch the Oscars. I know sometimes I watch the Tony Awards, and and every year I walk away from them feeling the same exact thing, which is a waste of fucking time. It's just like, this is so like, it's like, it's an award show, right? It's a bunch of like pageantry and meaningless stuff, when really you just want to know and hear what they say. And that's how I kind of feel about this finale now. It's just kind of like, it was an hour of filler for the 20 minutes of material that I'm interested in.
But again, they chopped that part up.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, there's nothing we can do about that, right? They had a 90-minute show, and I guess they felt like each person needed to, 9 minutes of that was lip sync song. It's like,
the one thing I think is weird, and I mentioned this in the intro, is so when Rue said about the bet, was it to Naisha? And then they dubbed in a weird Michelle Visage laugh. Because she didn't laugh during the show. She wasn't, they're mic'd, but they're only mic'd on at certain points. So if you look at it, you can tell it's totally dubbed in. Whenever they show her laughing in the balcony, it's always like, like some witch noise they made.
For all we know, it was from our show. They could have taken a sound clip from our show.
Oh, that would have, you know what? We should totally overdub it. Going,
I think just for publicity's sake, we should just sue them, saying they stole our Michelle Visage laugh. Try taking the court. I would never do that.
Now, Daniel, you went to this coronation in
I did.
New York.
I did.
Why don't you tell us about that?
So I went to stage 48 in finale and coronation. Now, it's a large club. I don't know normally what it is, but it's a large club that has a dance floor area. And then at the end of the dance floor area is a stage that is elevated. And then around the dance floor area, there's a 3-corner balcony overlooks both the stage pit. Does that make you? So, fun fact, the Getty image / Reuters picture of the 3 queens at the end standing, on stage looking with the audience behind them, which is the picture that has been printed in all the news stories right now. If you look, in the bottom left-hand side, because friend of the show, Veronica Mann, got to the doors opened at 8:00 Monday for the show, and I got there at 8:00. But Ron / Veronica got there at 4:30 in the afternoon. So it's right behind Naomi's butt. So if you're in that shot, which is in every news story in the country right now, is on the Huffington Post, whatever, the 3 of them standing, Bob looking like he's shocked, holding his purse, and the crowd behind them. The person in the paisley long sleeve shirt that has his elbow on the stage is Veronica, his boyfriend in the black shirt.
Oh, you're the boyfriend. You didn't have a boyfriend.
I know, but they're prominently featured right there and all across the.
Hold on,
country.
And where are you?
Oh, I'm because I got there at 8. I was behind the dance floor, where the dance floor ends, where the support beams are for the upstairs balcony. I was there. I was at the support beam at the back of the.
Can you send me a link to the image? Oh wait, no, I found it.
Woo, this is exciting for the listeners. I know. Anyway, So I was there. It was crazy. You can kind of get an idea of just how many people are jammed into that dance floor by looking there. And so I got in on the first 200 tickets, and then they sold more tickets after that. So there was, I would say, just guessing, there's probably like 800 people a place.
Oh my God, just to watch a TV show?
And it was so insane. We were packed in like sardine. It was the doors opened at 8, and so as much as you complain about the 5 or 6 hours that it takes to film the finale.
Oh yeah.
At least you sat down and could go to the bathroom or get a drink or something. I don't know if they had a bar service in there, but just like this club, it's like you didn't dare go to the bar because then you wouldn't get back to your spot. And on top of that, what?
You didn't have alcohol for more than a few minutes?
For almost 3 hours, I stood in one spot. I mean, it's just like you were just wedged in and standing there. So it was great fun. It was an interesting experience. I will not do it again. It's just like
that was my question.
Yeah,
that was my question.
It was just crazy how it's like, wow, they're leaving so much money on the table here. It's just like because the profits are off the drinks, right? It's like drinks, cost them 36 cents to make a mixed drink, and they sell it to you for $7. That's a lot of money you're leaving on the table. All you just clear a walkway down the middle to send down some waitresses service the people. Anyway,
because I've hacked the finale, it's not that bad. I show up, I drink, eat, stroll in, lie to people and tell them that people are waiting for me in the front row or something, and then I go sit down and watch the show for 6 hours.
Yeah, no, I stood there for 3 hours. It was really fun, and I'm tall, so I had a good view of the TV. So, all right, so let me get to the beginning. So at 8 o'clock, you go in and you stand in, you just stand there. There's dance music playing, lights are going, and up on the stage, they have a big Jumbotron, and it's got the RuPaul's logo and the logo and the World of Wonder logo, and it just kind of cycles between those. And then hanging right in front of this Jumbotron are like these swaths of fabric that look like, like curtain, like done badly, like hanging in the middle, but kind of blocking your view of the Jumbotron from different places. And the queens behind me were getting quite indignant about it. They were just like, I wish they would move that fabric from in front of the Jumbotron. I can't see anything. And so I finally, after they were bitching about it for like 2 or 3 minutes, I finally turned around to it and I was like, Violet Chachki does an aerial act. I'm pretty sure she's going to do an aerial for the show. And of course, I was proven right when 10 minutes before the show starts, the lights go out comes Violet Chachki and does an aerial act. And those pieces of fabric that she does the aerial act on actually were out across, so she was probably, a good 4 feet into the audience. So when she was spinning down and stopping at the end of the rope, she was like, right over people's head. And
I have a question for you.
Sure.
The guy in front of you, did he get knocked over by your boner because you were right?
As everyone knows, Joe, I have a very small penis, so no.
Do we all know that?
Who knew this?
Who knew that? I didn't know that.
I say this on my podcast.
Every Latino twink in New Haven?
I say this on my podcast.
You don't ever talk about your small penis.
Never talk about this.
It's an inch and a half. It's an inch and a half long, but it's a 1.5 feet wide. So it's it's just it's weird.
Good Lord! A can of tuna for
exactly. That's what it is. You got me distracted here. So Violet comes out, does her number. It was great. It was sickening. It was really well done. Then Shangela comes out and sings a song. She kind of reworked the lyrics of Uptown Funk to Uptown Fish. And so she did a live singing performance.
That sounds unfortunate.
It was actually really
cute. Angela thinks she's really funny.
Shangela isn't horrible. She was not a horrible MC. She
Hallelujah.
Yeah, she talked a little too loud or whatever, but she definitely got the crowd going. Like, because the reworked song had crowd participation parts in it, like, because Uptown Funk, ooh, it's like, anyway, there's a lot of crowd participation in it, and that really got everyone going. And then the big show started, Joe Batance. The big show started.
The big shoe.
And we all settled in to watch the big shoe. And
what happens during the commercials?
Yeah, so let me first get to the point that it's like the show starts, and if you've never seen it in a group of people before, there's just certain things that always happen that I was kind of used to, but my friend that went with me was shocked by. And I was like, no, this is what happens, right? It's like, it's kind of like Rocky Horror, like anything that RuPaul says that is part of the show, everyone says it, right? So it's like $100,000. It's like, you have 800 people chanting that at this, at the same time it's being said on TV. And there's just a lot of things like, may the best woman win, everyone says that, so any of those things that you would think that you yourself sitting at home in the comfort of your living room say along with the TV. multiply that by 800 people saying it. That's basically what it's like to go to a big live viewing of it. But,
I don't know what you're talking about. I never say the things.
But
And
no,
I never lip sync along to the song while we're playing it before we record.
exactly.
But let me tell you something. This is tailored specifically to you. You know, I bitch a lot about how they run the finale, but I will say every year I feel very special that I get to be there with RuPaul when she says, "Can I get an amen?" I get to give her an amen back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back to RuPaul. There's something kind of cool about that.
Right. So then they brought out the season 8 queens. You know, so the opening thing everyone went crazy, and then when they brought out the season 8 queens, that same fluctuation of applause that you witnessed in LA happened here. There's some of the queens got more, and although Derek Barry didn't get booed in LA, he did get booed when he came out. So it was basically watching the show. Now, when I had gone to the Thor viewing party, you know, when the commercials come on, she comes out and chats and, you know, says things, and she's very engaging. Now, you'd think with as many queens as there were in that building, they could have found someone to do that. But no, during the commercials, they just played dance music, and which caused
Sometimes
the people.
gays got to dance.
But when you're wedged in like sardines, is like people were like, you know, you're getting slammed around like because people are dancing and like poking their elbows into you and stuff.
Yeah,
I tried to look as ornery,
Elbows.
I tried to look as
incredibly small penises.
ornery and crotchety as I could to keep them from doing it. Yeah, they insisted on dancing. And to me, it just made the commercial breaks feel even longer, right? Because you're aware of the fact that your standees hurt. No, it's like your
That
legs.
boy
go to
butter
sleep.
commercial seemed longer, and the cucumber and banana commercial seemed longer.
I don't ever watch the commercial.
I know. I never watch it. I don't even know what the commercials are now because
I was going to say,
just buy it.
do they really do commercials for boy butter?
I know.
Yes.
Not-
Do they really?
I didn't see
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Shut up.
Wait, do you
No,
mean
I'm
like
not
in
kidding.
general or during the show?
No, during the show.
Oh.
Yes, during the show there are commercials for boy butter.
Oh my
I didn't
God.
see any for boy butter.
That's what I'm saying. Why do they even bleep out the curse words? That's the level of advertisers they're getting. Is boy butter.
Anyway, so
And Alan Chuck Travel.
see, I didn't even see them in the finale. I think the
I
finale
haven't
had like
seen-
it had a couple of just big generic. You know,
At DragCon, they have a booth and they're like, "Come and meet Al and Chuck." I'm like, who wants to meet them?
Okay, are Al and Chuck two older, slightly overweight men with thinning hair and mustaches and wear like Hawaiian shirts? Because that's what I picture Alan Chuck Travel. That's the face of Alan Chuck Travel.
Sounds more like Al and Eric.
Hey.
Oh.
But I need to bleep that out.
No, you can leave it in. It's fine.
So the Al and Eric are people that we know that. Yeah. See, it's an inside joke for people that we know. Here's the thing: is it made it feel longer, but then
You're an asshole, by the way, but that's fine.
but then
Give him his minute. Give him his minute. He's tickled himself.
And I'm sick, so I sound like my old smoky grandfather.
you sound like Naomi Smalls.
Sorry.
So you go through, the entire show and just with a really enthusiastic group of people. And everything was cruising along fine until Katya came out to announce Miss Congeniality. And so, of course, the gag on TV is that the thing that rises up, the set piece in the back that rises up, didn't go up all the way, and she had to crawl under it. At the moment that she was crawling under it, literally you heard zzz, and everything went black. It's like the entire club shut.
Bob came out?
What?
Bob came out?
No. The entire club shut down, and then the lights over the dance floor came on, just like solid blue lights or whatever came on over the dance floor. And then they just started playing dance music. And then at one point you saw the DirecTV logo pop up and go away off the top. So I don't know if their receiver. I like to think, because this is near the end of the show, I like to think they were moving the top three queens in position to get to the edge of the stage, and like Kimchi tripped over the power cord or something and like knocked everything out. That's what I like to think, but they didn't explain it, but I'm sure it was either their DirecTV box got unplugged or it had to reboot or something, because we did not get a picture and sound back until the former winners were coming out on stage in their walk.
You didn't miss
so they
much.
didn't get to, yeah.
So we
They didn't get
saw...
to see, the people there didn't get to see the Miss Congeniality? or anything?
No, we didn't get to see Miss Congeniality. We didn't get to see any of Katya's bit there, and we missed another
you didn't
whole
miss
commercial break. So it was a good 6 or 7 minutes that we were, ostensibly in the dark and didn't know what was going on. And of course, all the phones started coming out, and people were on Twitter. So people were saying, in the crowd, it's like, oh, Cynthia Lee Fontaine won Miss Congeniality, and it's like, so kind of people knew. Anyway, the Bob wins. The crowd went insane. Just went fucking insane.
How did the other two respond?
I don't know. What do you mean? How did you mean? Like how did?
Well, I mean,
There's a video of it.
Is there a video? Okay, well,
they were backstage, so we didn't see them at this point, right? It's like we were still watching the TV show. The TV show ends, then Shangela comes out, hey, isn't that great, whatever, and then she brings out Violet Chachki, and they chat for a few minutes with the crowd, and then they're like, oh, you don't know who won Miss Congeniality, and we, I guess we could tell you. Should we tell you? I don't know if we should tell you or not. And then, of course, Cynthia came out, and
cool,
and basically said, I won it, and so... You want to see my cuckoo? And she flipped her butt around on...
Did people go crazy when she came out?
Yes, everybody went crazy that she was there and that she came out. And that was the first season 8 queen that we had seen all night, was when Cynthia Lee came out. And then they brought out Bob the Drag Queen, and the place went insane. I think my ears are still ringing. He came out and did his little walk, did his little thank you, whatever. They handed him the big check and the scepter. He's really tall, and he had to squat down for them to put the crown on him. And Violet, after like probably 30 seconds of futzing around with everything, goes, I'm not a pageant queen. I don't know how to do this. And it was like Shangela suddenly pulled out like this box of bobby pins from somewhere and is just sitting there madly like poking him in his head, trying to get this crown to stay on. The crown, by the way, is gorgeous. The pictures do not do it justice. It is a gorgeous crown. I mean, it was really, really shiny with lots of drippy jewelry things. And so Bob had kind of like this offset hair, and so it kind of sat off to the top of him, whatever. Anyway, he then, gave his speech. It was really touching. He was very moved. There was a story that he told about Kimchi giving him the pair of shoes that he was wearing at that time, like day 3 of the competition. She didn't know she gave him those pair of shoes, but he was just talking about how nice that Kimchi was. And then they brought out Kimchi and Naomi, and people went insane. Anyway, then they stood on the stage for a long time, taking pictures and letting the crowds take pictures and stuff like that. And then I would say probably after about 10 minutes of that, they started coming out, like the top 6 came out to do numbers. So Thorgy Thor was there, did a number. Acid Betty, I think, did a number. I left, by fair warning, I left, so I don't know who all was there. I know that Cynthia did a number. I know that Thorgy did a number. I'm sure the top 3 all did number. So I don't know if Derek Barry was. I know Chi-Chi was in town, so I'm sure that Chi-Chi was. But yeah, that was the evening. Isn't it exciting?
Mm-hmm. It does sound exciting. Too bad you'll never go again.
I will never go. It was just so annoying to stand there and just not be able. It was hot and it was crowded, and I think I'll probably go to a bar to watch the finale again next year, but not that bar. Like I'll go to another bar where I can sit.
You'll go to stage 46.
Stage 46, where I can get a damn drink. Yeah, maybe that's why Ginger Minge didn't go.
My basement need to be flooded.
All right, so speaking of watching finales in a bar, you all mentioned something about Raven.
Oh, so
what happened with Raven?
So Raven tweeted on her account, "Fuck your purse." I don't know, the internet.
Okay, all right. I'll look it up later. I mean I'll forget about it 20 minutes after we tape this, and I'll never worry about it again.
I can tell you because I'm going to the link right now. So that was all she said. Of course, everyone was sticking up for Bob, sending her death threats.
Well, good.
Twitter,
so long no one's overreacting.
No, of course not. No one ever overreacts on the internet. In Raven's defense, though, she didn't go out and claim that she was getting death threats, like credible death threats, when they were just stupid Twitter messages. Devada did. Anyway, did I say that? I'm so sorry. Here's what Bob, the drag queen, posted just 7 hours ago on his Facebook page. There have been some very strong reactions to my win on Monday. I want to thank all of my supporters. You guys have lifted me up, and I promise not to let you down. This is more than just a crown. It's a legacy. With great drag comes great responsibility. In regards to the negativity that I received, just remember, haters gonna hate. It's their nature. They don't know any better, and they can't help themselves. They really seem to love doing it, and I don't want to take that joy away from them. I must say, though, I didn't expect to see it from an actual RuPaul's Drag Race alumni. So, Raven, I know you hate my purse, but I can think of about 100,000 reasons my purse is better than yours. Hashtag bloop. Hashtag if you're going to be shady next time, just get at me. Hashtag the queen has spoken.
Okay. That seems to have nipped that in the bud.
Yeah. And I believe Raven has either gone dark.
Oh, Raven's responded, or
I think she's
probably drunk. Raven can't leave the country because she has some unresolved DUIs.
It was posted and then deleted. So what's being circulated now are screenshots of her Twitter. Anyway, so that was the drama. That was the drama there. The other drama that happened on the train ride home, I was watching AfterBuzz TV's show live. I was streaming it there. It was one of those things where I was watching it on my phone, streaming it live on my phone on YouTube. and I couldn't get to their chat room because my phone didn't let me do that. There were so many things that they were saying that I wanted to respond to and I couldn't respond to. And then halfway through their show, it dawned on me, wait a second, I have Jay's number. So I started texting Jay. So I was sitting on the train, like texting Jay answers to things. And
did he get it on the show?
He did. It was, he called me out on it. I wish he just would have just taken credit for the, because there were some great little one-liners I gave him there. Because thank you for giving me
What are they going to do without all this promotion that we give them? What are they? They're going to fade away.
Oh, and then if you haven't watched Drag Race Recap, excuse me, the AfterBuzz TV RuPaul's review, I don't know what they call it. It's hard to find, but if you look for AfterBuzz TV and RuPaul's Drag Race season 8, anyway, their last one, Jay does take his shirt off halfway through. There you go. They did not. They talked about drag. They talked about DragCon, but they didn't talk about you at all, Joe.
Ooh.
Actually, Jay said he was going to, but they got played off.
Oh, did he really say that?
Yeah.
Oh.
So about this tiny penis, is it like a fan belt strapped to your front? Is that what it looks like?
I'm sure there's videos of it online.
Of your tiny penis?
Probably.
There's video of your tiny penis.
You know, people like everything. There's all kind of people out there that like things. We're not here to judge.
I'm agog. No, I'm not judging. I'm just curious. I just have questions.
It is like such an old, stupid joke that I've made on my podcast 100 times. I can't believe you're just like, I don't think I've said it recently just because it was.
Okay, is there anything we haven't covered about this
I don't know.
grand finale?
I don't think so. We have
Joe is like my grandfather at Christmas dinner after he's had dessert. He looks at his girlfriend and goes, "All right, let's go." Like there's no.
You know what the thing is though? It's such a hard show to recap because it's like, we all know the answer to it. Like I doubt as many of you guys out there will be listening to this as we do our normal show because it's done.
Well, also on our regular show, we're doing a lot of speculation what's going to happen next.
Right.
There's no more speculation.
Well, yeah, but I also think one thing that I noticed over the last couple of weeks in the emails and tweets and messages we've got and everything is that people seem to be. It's nice to know we're going to be missed. That people seem to be genuinely sad that our little recap show is going away for a while, and so that's nice.
No, it's absolutely nice. I'm just saying that I think.
Do you think they'll come back for All Stars?
I don't know. Are we going to come back for All Stars?
I'm going to come back.
I'm in if you are.
No, I'm not the one that does the lion's share of the work. That's Joe Bataan. So it's like long as
I know I got to prep myself.
Now I was told that there's it's fairly reliable that there's only going to be about 8 episodes.
Does that mean Joe has to do a training montage for getting up to his all the editing and stuff like that, like you would see in a Rocky movie or one of those 80s like Top Gun or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes. There's going to be
around.
On the most, for those of you who are listeners, on the most recent episode of Pod is My Co-Pilot, Taylor does a whole thing on how many montages there are on Rocky 2.
Yes, but I love a montage. I want to see you doing crunches and then reaching, when you come all the way up, you're at a desk and you're quick editing something really fast and then you're going back down and then you're coming back up and you're editing something and going back down.
And then I crack an egg in a glass and drink it. What's the significance of that, by the way?
Protein.
Why would someone do this? Eat the egg. Cook an egg.
Well, yeah, but I think it's a fast way to get the protein in your system. I gotta
fast to get protein in your system.
He's doing montage music.
Okay, I looked at Twitter. We had no Twitter messages. Do we have any Facebook messages?
We have 2 Facebook messages, actually. We have a Facebook message and a comment.
Oh, let's do that.
So,
let's do that.
All right. Can I have the montage music in the background while I'm doing it? Because that was kind of awesome.
All right, yeah, no, I turned it off. I didn't think it was working, but there, no, now it's back.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. So Steven Starling writes, well, they just crowned the winner we all picked by the 3rd episode of the season. What's the point of a competition when there's no competition? Anyway, Joe, I was at the taping last week too and wanted to elaborate on a story you told. When RuPaul lost her shit in the control room during that long Chi-Chi setup, she actually said, "What the fuck is taking you so long? I mean, we're up here with our dicks taped to our backs." The crowd roared, and I have told that story 12 times. Lastly, what are your... I love the montage music. I absolutely love it. Lastly, what are your thoughts on the shows tonight and what they cut out? I understand the need for editing, but they really left a lot on the editing floor, and the show seemed so rushed to me tonight. Finally, thoughts. Do you think Chi-Chi looked less like herself and more like a Tracy Morgan character on Saturday Night Live?
Yes.
The arms, man. The arms were what was throwing me. Makeup. I loved the dress. I did love the dress. Anyway, thank you all for a great season of recap. I hope you have a great summer and look forward to the All-Stars with you all.
Aww. Thank you. Now, I wanted to say, I will give them credit for this. As bad as the editing may have been, I'm going to turn off the music. As bad as the editing was for the finale, they did do a good job over the past couple of weeks of making it seem as though Kimchi had a real shot of winning. to the point that brief pause between RuPaul saying and the winner is and her saying Bob the drag queen, I was like, oh my God, she's going to say kimchi. Oh my God, she's going to say kimchi. And it's like, so even though Bob, I said on, episode 2, there's our winner. Like, this is like Pete and Big Brother UK, like clear from the beginning who the winner is. They did do a good job of obfuscating that near the end to kind of, there could have been a chance.
Yeah, I would agree. Okay. And we also got a message from my personal internet boyfriend, Adonis B.
Really?
Yes.
You know what, Daniel? I got to tell you this. When we talked about Adonis B last time, I didn't care. Oh, I can't go on Facebook, so I couldn't go on and look at
right,
it.
exactly.
But I didn't go see him. And then today I saw the message. Daniel.
Yeah?
This Adonis B is so fucking hot.
I know.
Don't be fooled by the name. Well, I know, but Taylor also thinks that, like, Uncle Jesse from Dukes of Hazzard is hot. So
I assure you, I do not think Uncle Jesse.
I wasn't really trusting him. But I saw this Adonis B today. He is so fucking hot. It is insane.
The eyes kill me. They are Windex blue.
I wasn't even looking at those.
Oh no, you look in the eyes. That's the first thing. You look at the eyes, then you look at the chest, then you look at the junk.
People, now I have to go look at his profile.
Have you not seen him, Daniel?
Well, yeah, he is.
Yeah. So anyway,
where does he live? Which part of the country does he live in?
I know.
Which one of us is going to go physically stalk him now?
I think I get to stalk him first because I claimed rights on him when I first saw the picture.
But if he lives in New York,
look,
then,
here's what I'm going to do. You guys are so dumb. I know how to get Adonis B wherever I want. I'm going to put a disco ball up in my apartment, and then I'm going to start playing. I'm going to start playing Bad Boys by Donna Summer. Bad Girls by Donna Summer. Everybody, we know who you came to see. It's the one, the only, direct from Miami. All muscles, all butt. Give it up for Adonis B.
Wow, he kind of looks like who was the kid from Desperate Housewives? Like in that one picture. A little bit.
Oh, Jesse Metcalf?
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Okay, so anyway, Adonis. Now that we've completely
he wrote a message.
Yeah, now that we've completely creeped him out, he writes, "Hey, beautiful people. I'm still here and still listening. You guys crack me up all the time. It's so sad to see you go. At first, I was reluctant and a little tense, but the more I listened to, the more I listened to, the more I relaxed and opened up to you. I'm loose as a cannon now, and you just leave me. I'm loose as a cannon? Wow.
Taylor just came. I've never had anyone just come like that.
And you just leave me? Typical. But you've made me want more, and I'll definitely tune in next season. Hashtag Katya for the all-star win."
You know what?
I love you, Adonis.
We'll never leave you, Adonis.
Hey, back off. Back off.
You know what, guys? If Adonis wants us to, we can just come back next week and keep doing shows until if he's going to listen.
Right.
RuPaul's Adonis recap.
We'll just do it just for him.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are messages. And I think we had a couple of comments over on our visitor posts.
Do we have any emails?
Yeah, we do. But just real quick, over on Facebook, we had Scott who wrote, "Ugh, you guys have become my favorite podcast. I just discovered you this season. You guys missed the comments on your new website. When you do, your wrap up with the email and Twitter chatter. Hashtag. Yeah, that whole." There's a Facebook plugin that does comments on our website.
Laugh and cough at the same time?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
He laughed. He lives in Florida. I think a bug went. Anyway.
Right.
And then Kimberly writes, "I wasn't a Violet Chachki, but her dress from the finale gave me."
She's not Violet Chachki?
She wasn't a Violet Chachki. She probably means fans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, but thank you guys for writing that. So we have, a couple of, we have 3 emails, but they're all from the same person. So they're just kind of like a continuation of the same.
Please let them be from Tyler. Please let them be from Tyler, and you can forward them to Joe
You know
Reed.
what?
No.
Polo, let me tell you something. This Tyler, he sent a Twitter. There was like something from Twitter, but it was so not worth mentioning that I said there were no Twitter messages.
Oh, good.
I thought he was just, the only Twitter I saw from Tyler was him asking about your other show.
Well, no, and he goes, "I don't sound that gay." Oh, the other message.
This comes in from Musing Mark. Musing Mark says, "Hi guys, I'm rewatching season 8 and noticing the 2 sets of the show, the workroom and the main stage. Good Lord, why are they all still using these same tired-ass sets after 8 seasons? And how does that work? The show only takes a few weeks to shoot, so where are these sets now? I imagine World of Wonder rents space on a soundstage and then rebuilds the sets every season, right? Thanks, Musing Mark." That's email number 1. Now, I can speak to this, but Joe, I don't know if, do you know if they rent? I'm sure they rent those.
They do. It's
studios.
at Hollywood Center Studios.
Yeah.
I
But
drive
if
by
you
it all
look
the
at their
time.
sets, because in Untucked, you get a really good view of the backstage. So that workroom that you see, those kind of wooden frames behind them in Untucked, that is the walls of the workroom. And what looks like brick on TV is just a fabric.
I was going to say, isn't it fabric?
that hangs on that scaffolding. So really, they just roll the fabric up and stick it in a storage unit somewhere, and then they just
Yeah, and there are
rebuild the
places-
frames. Yeah.
Yeah, there are places that you can store that. I mean, that's what those places are
really
for.
I think the only complicated, big, bulky set that they have. Because if you think about it, the workroom is just cloth hanging on a frame and then some tables, move tables.
Do you think RuPaul keeps that in one of those big Tupperware plastic
Probably.
containers in her garage?
Probably
The,
does.
the brick fabric.
fabric.
I like to think that.
And every year she's like, well, where is it? And they're trying to find it.
She packs it up in the back of her Honda Accord and drives to her house, and
Yeah.
it stays in there for a couple of weeks. Then she goes, "Oh, I should probably bring this set in."
She calls her drag daughters. She's like, "Can you come out in the attic? Can you come pull the that makes no sense because she's tall. But then, yeah, the only substantial set they have really is the runway, and it looks like that could break down. Anyway,
Yeah, it's standard issue.
So thank you very much, Musing Mark, for that. But let's get to your next email, which says, I also noticed this entire season takes place on the set. In the past seasons, there were challenges outside in the real world. But I think this entire season has been inside the Drag Race cocoon, correct? And why do you think that is? I'm not saying
I don't think they've done anything outside since like season 4.
I'm not saying
All Stars. They did the thing on All Stars where they had to get people to cluck like a chicken and weird stuff like that. But that was, but you figure that was 4 seasons ago.
I'm not saying I'm right, so I can't be. Wait until the recap.
Did he say that?
Yes, that's his next line. But yeah, no, I think, yeah, because it's like season 7 had an awards banquet, but they just had it there. It's like the punk rock concert was just there, the studio. I know why, right? Because anytime you travel, then that adds days to your shooting, right? Because you've got to take all your equipment to wherever you're going and set it up, all that kind of stuff.
I think also, the tenor of the show changed, I would say, around then. And I think when you take drag queens outside during the day, it made it very silly. I think the show takes itself a lot more seriously now, too.
Yeah, I could see that because it would be difficult. Yeah, that's why they always had them like, we've taken you to this abandoned motel to get some fabric out of the dumpster to make it. Because if they took them to the mall, then they would just be like trying to get all the shots where there aren't people pointing and staring at them.
Yeah.
Wait a
In the
minute.
background.
What season is it? Maybe it's season 5, though, when they drive the queens around Hollywood and then those shitty celebrities pretend to wave at them from the street.
I
Is
don't
that season
remember
5 or season 4?
I don't remember that one either. I kind of remember that, but I don't remember what season.
I agree with you though. Also, I think it's more expensive to do a location shoot, right? That's why Star Trek was always. Why Star Trek was anyway.
They never went to space. It's very expensive to shoot in space.
It
Daniel.
is, yeah, when
so
you-
Star Trek just stayed in a studio.
those warp drive engines take a long time. No, it's more expensive to build a outside planet looking set than to buy inside to build insets.
Oh, yeah.
That's why.
Well,
they
that's
always-
clear from watching the first couple seasons of Next Generation.
right.
They would just random dead trees and like fake styrofoam mountains with like blue lights in the background to show the sky.
But on some planets they were red light. Anyway,
Or purple.
Then his final email, Musing Mark, says the funniest line of season 8 ever. Naomi to Derek Puppet. Does it hurt me having my hand inside you? Derek Puppet. No, I'm used to sitting on 2 dicks at one time. Hilarity from an unlikely source.
That was probably one of the funniest lines. Bob doing the shade button. That was funny too. That was funny.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mention this. In the coronation, when we're watching it on the Jumbotron, they have closed caption and poor caption people trying to translate drag terms. Do you know how closed captioning works?
Somebody sitting there typing things really fast.
Either of you?
No.
It works on the same. They use the same kind of keyboard that they use court reporters use, and they have their. You don't type letters. You type phonemes, like you type phonetically. You have to like learn how to use these machines in real time, transcribe what they're saying. But it's really bad at specific terms. Like they have specific dictionaries and there's specific court reporters that are trained in medical terminology. Those kind of emanations are not as common. Does that make any sense? So
Yeah.
On closed captioning, anytime you get to some specific kind of subject, the closed captioning is always kind of hit or miss. So it never figured out what lip sync was. It kept saying list sync, and what was the other one? They couldn't understand anything Cynthia Leaf. It was just gibberish.
Who does?
But it was just funny to read some.
One thing real fast that I just thought of about the main show. So Bob the Drag Queen comes out and he talks about how he's a huge Carol Channing fan.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they get Carol Channing. And
Yeah.
then Kimchi comes out and they did a thing with Margaret Cho, which I get kind of racist. Who's another Korean actress or actor, so they got her. And then with Naomi, they get the one Cersei from Game of Thrones that it made no sense that she was clearly on her phone, like doing like a FaceTime video that they sent. It just made no, like, did Naomi ever say she's a big Game of Thrones fan or she's a big Lena Headey? No, is that her name?
Yeah,
Lena Headey.
Lena Headey. Like, that was just the most odd. I was thinking they're going to have to show Naomi Campbell where Naomi Campbell was going to say something. Just
Naomi Campbell just didn't do it.
But of all the people in the world to get, you get Cersei from Game of Thrones.
I think she asked. I think she's a fan of the show and asked to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it didn't sound like. I mean, it sounded like she knew the show, right?
Yeah, I get that, but it just was an odd when you consider the other, at least especially with Bob, that there was that emotional resonance with Carol Channing. It just seemed kind of like, okay.
Yeah, you were there for the actual taping, Joe. Did they?
Daniel Brewer.
Did they say anything? Did they say like
who say anything?
Did Naomi? I mean, was it set up differently at the live show? Like,
no.
We know you're a big Game of Thrones fan.
Nope.
Then, yeah, it was probably just
as random.
It's probably just her.
They tried to get. I'm sure they tried to get Naomi Campbell. Naomi Campbell was like, no, and then threw a bejeweled cell phone at them.
To me, it sounds more like she enjoys watching the show, and one of her gay assistants said, you should call in because you can use the line "Cersei that walk," because it seemed to all just be building up for her to say "Cersei that walk."
Okay,
Queen Cersei. Anyway,
are we ready to wrap up this season?
I think we are, Joe. I think we've been ready. But I would like to point out to our good friends at AfterBuzz TV played off.
Couldn't let it go. Had to get one more AfterBuzz comment in there.
Wasn't there a hashtag on one of these things that said something like hashtag why is Daniel saying he's single when what he really wants is Jay Ellis? I thought I read that.
Something had that. Yeah,
where was
around
that?
There somewhere. I don't know.
Is Jay Ellis into really small penises?
I don't know. Maybe he is.
I want to state for the record, I live in the same town as this human being. Blows me off so many times. Daniel Brewer, we're wrapping up season 8. Any last thoughts? Any final words? Any parting words? Do you want to say anything to the audience, to me, to Taylor, to Donna Sugars? Oh, wait, we forgot to... Oh, my God. We were supposed to have Donna on the show the whole season.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Anyway.
Yeah, I do have... some words to say. I'm so glad I'm together. Just to have a laugh or to sing a song. It seems we just got started, and before you know it, it comes so long.
I'm just thrilled we're all sitting here in our Bob Mackie dresses.
Taylor, any parting words?
One, I appreciate the fact that you guys asked me to be a part of this year. I've had a lot of fun, and I appreciate all the listeners. It's nice to hear from people that I don't normally hear from my podcast, so that was enjoyable. And this is definitely one of my favorite seasons. It's not my all-time favorite season, but in the list in my head, it's definitely within the top half.
I think I just want to say, it may sound like I'm done with the show. Like I'm just like, I'm a little tired. But I do love doing the show. I love doing the show with Daniel Brewer. I love doing the show with Michelle Williams. We have a really, really, really good time. Unfortunately, audience, we talk all the time. You will not be privy to that until... we come back for All Stars in the fall. But until then, that concludes this season of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Follow us on Twitter. You know what, guys? I'm not even done. You know what we should do? I'm going to interrupt here.
Go ahead.
In the middle of the summer, when they start filming, Reddit figures out who they do their Nancy Drewing.
Yes.
We should probably come back for like a one-off and talk about who they think is going to be on the season.
We could.
Anyway, follow us on Twitter, Drag Race Recap. Friend us on Facebook at facebook.com/Drag Race Recap. And make sure to visit our website at dragracerecap.com for no apparent reason. So, until next season, for Daniel Brewer, Taylor the Latte Boy, and myself,
sashay away until next season.